you know me? Do social media influencers and celebrities need to keep in mind who their audience is due to the effect it can have on young people's mental health?
No. At the end of the day, you picked.
Like,
You picked your influencer. So.
As in, like, I don't think influencers are actually influencers. They're just content creators. You have decided to make them your influencer. And if you're watching influencers and having mental health issues, that's your own issue. You need to sort yourself out. They have no requirement.
But that's a bit insensitive.
It depends on the age.
It's true though. No, it's not insensitive to say that. That's actually a you problem. I can't do anything about it.
Nah, but if it depends on the age group of the kids you're doing it to. Like, if kids are like 8 years old, they're not gonna understand and think for themselves.
Their parents
need to.
No, but I feel like influencers. Because you're influencer, you should speak on those type of issues.
Things. Yeah, like just because I portray a certain image on social media doesn't mean that I'm saying, oh, you should also be like that. You should need to let them.
No, I just feel like the world puts so much pressure on influencers. Like influencers have to do this, and they don't have to do anything. Like
exactly, as in they didn't put their NI number to do this job. You have decided to make them the influencer. Like that is your own problem. If you're having mental health issues, depression, anxiety, all these issues because of the influencer that you have picked to influence you, change the influencer. Go watch someone else. Don't click off, scroll, delete. If an influencer posts and you see that post and you start developing mental health issues, that is kind of on you. Like, if clearly you're not strong enough mentally to see someone and stop like comparing yourself, or like you're not strong enough clearly, so I feel like maybe get off social media and recollect your thoughts and find help or something.
Like, you have to watch what you're posting to a certain extent.
You
don't. You 100 do.
You know what? I don't think you can really say that, because whatever they're doing, that's what makes them the influencer. That's what's making them money. That's what's making them money.
No, I'm not saying their content specifically, but if they're talking about like other issues, they have to watch how they word it, because it can really change a person's point of view.
I agree with that, but what's it called? For example, do you know like Khloe Kardashian, how sometimes she looks like this, sometimes she looks like that, and people always talk about it. I don't know if you guys have seen that. But it's like, people will be saying that, you need to state what surgical procedures you've got so you don't give young children a unrealistic image. But it's like, who's gonna come and tell them
to do anything? Exactly. She doesn't need to do anything. Give you actually have to tell people who did her stuff.
False advertising.
No, because literally with Kylie Jenner, she literally had like surgical whatever done to her lips, and then she promoted her lip brand, saying, oh yeah, this is what made my lips look like this, but really and truly that's not what actually made your lips
obviously,
look.
we know that, but if you're dumb enough to believe her, then that's
fraud though.
Because we all know, we saw Kylie Jenner before and we saw her after. Not stupid. So if you believe it, then sorry.
Nah, but kids, that's what I'm saying. Like someone who's like 13 maybe might not have the.
Then you're actually dumb.
No, but they're not dumb. They're young. Being young and dumb are two different things. Like what we know now, we didn't know like 5-6 years ago.
When you're young, like you're in your formative years, like obviously you're gonna see things and it's gonna change your perspective, like the way you're thinking about things, like without you realizing, without you knowing. So I think in a sense, like obviously the audience of the person is going to be the audience, you get it? Like, they're going to be doing what they're doing. But then again, there's some things they need to be careful about posting. Like, if, let's say, let's say what people are watching, bro, Charlie D'Amelio, for example. Let's say, like, you know her audience, right? And she goes and gets a surgery, whatever, and she's talking about how she looks so much better and how rated, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like all these little kids are watching her, they're going to be thinking, yeah, like, rah, like, I need to do that as well.
I feel like Dami and Chelsea's points are quite inconsiderate, considering the fact that as an influencer, you're going to have a large audience base, regardless if you want it or not. So it's a thing where you need to watch what you're posting, otherwise you are going to affect the younger generation or the generation or just the audience that you have like in general. And it's a thing where like you're going to have to take responsibility for that, like whether you like it or not.
They're looking up.
But if she jumped off a cliff, you're gonna jump with her.
Don't be my mum. But that's what she says. That's what she says. That's like that's very different.
That's an extreme
Trust me.
I know, but it's
extreme example. No, but at the end of the day, like influencers, they're humans as well. They can do what they want without the world saying, "Oh, you can't do this because you're an influencer." Like, it's a lot of pressure on them. Exactly. What do you mean? Because I got my body done. The kids said, "Oh, they feel insecure because my body looks like this and theirs doesn't." Then sorry, like if I wanted to get my body done, I'm not saying that you have to get your body done. I got my body done for me. Like I just feel like everybody follows.
But it's the lying about it. A lot of these.
No, but I'm saying if you got your body done, if you got your body done, and you don't want to say you got your body done, you don't have to.
No, but then you're showing an image. You're showing an image that is not realistic.
Yeah, or
it's not a realistic image.
product saying that you free this product. through that product.
Cool, if you're promoting products or you're saying that you went to the gym for it, cool. But if I just got my body done and I don't want to say anything, you can't say I'm promoting anything.
I'll be so
someone that doesn't know you, they can see you and be like, oh,
if they think it's, I don't understand what the problem is. If you think it's real,
they might think that it's something that comes naturally.
Do you know what? I don't get what the problem is with that.
Nah, it's even the same with athletes. You know, the ones that take drugs like to make them go faster and that. Kids are watching them thinking, oh, he's faster and that. But then they realise it's just drugs. That can crush dreams, literally.
I just feel like their problem though. Because they want to be like whoever.
It's not their problem though. If you find out your favourite athlete is taking drugs, it's mad.
When you're saying kids, how old are you talking about?
You watch your own stuff.
Like teens, like from 13 to 16,
Even younger.
We're
still looking up to people like this age. Like if someone like what Lee was saying, if an athlete was there taking drugs and like obviously come to light, like people realize he's taking drugs, people are gonna be thinking like, rah, like so that's how it is. But it's gonna, regardless, it's gonna be in their mind. They have a responsibility as well. It comes with the job. Like if you're gonna have an audience like that, if you're gonna be famous, big, whatever, known by whoever you're known by, you have a responsibility to hold up a persona, right? Whether you like it or not, if you're an influencer, you're influencing, like, you have a responsibility to, to uphold that. You have to, it's a thing where taking drugs, you've got an audience. It's a bad example, like, to the audience that you have. So I feel like, obviously you're your own person, you could do what you want. Then again, like, with the influencing job, like, you have...
I just feel like an influencer, they didn't have to do an interview, they didn't have to put their NI number, they didn't have to do passport check. You have made your influencer.
Yeah, but from it not being legit, regardless, like just like basic morality, like you have to understand you have a part to play.
I disagree with Dami's point, man. She kept saying you didn't need the NI number to be an influencer, you didn't have to sign up, you didn't have to, and that doesn't really justify not advocating for mental health, like, you know what I mean? By that logic, if everything had to be ledged for you to actually care about it, a lot of things in the world would be messed up, like, by that mentality. And on top of that, I feel like as influencers, people forget, like, they build an attachment to you and your content. Do you get it? So they look up to you and everything. And when it comes to mental health, it's a universal language. Like, everyone goes through it. It's something that everyone goes through. So if you advocate for it, it's the least you can do. Do you get it? You don't have to be an ambassador for it. No one's saying it's your responsibility. No one's saying that the fact that people go through depression is your burden, but the least you can do is speak up for it. Do you get it?
You get it. Like, I'm not saying it's your full responsibility.
And hold on. To link back to what Lee said about, like, for example, if an athlete was taking drugs and whatnot, imagine if, like, young children or teens found out that's what their role model was doing. They will now think, oh, it's okay to do that because, well, he's doing it. I want to be like him, so I might as well just take the drugs. It didn't harm him because we don't know if it actually harmed him, but he shows what he wants to show to social media, so we're only seeing what he's showing.
But I still don't think it's a requirement for me.
No,
if I was an athlete and I was taking drugs, I shouldn't have to not take those drugs.
It's the same.
It makes sense, but I wouldn't stop.
As an example, you see the people, like, I know people that do this themselves, but Snapchat promos of things that are not leg, like. That is just morally wrong.
Money have to make.
Nah, but I get that you have to make money and that, but you're saying to these kids they're getting clothes, whatever, cheaper and that, and they're getting scammed.
That's true.
You guys keep saying kids, like, we're 18.
Nah, but no, your audience normally isn't 18.
So there's 10-year-olds on Snapchat.
The people that watch me are young. I know that for a fact.
It's going to be a bit younger than us.
The
people, I'll be real. Let's say you do like TikTok, the majority of your people are going to be under 15.
Yeah.
100%.
You see where the age thing keeps getting brought up, yeah? Do you not think that influencers have a full part to play or none at all, or it depends on the age groups that they have?
It depends on the situation.
I think it depends on the type of person you are. For me,
but with influencers, you don't know who watches your stuff.
That's another thing.
You do. Trust me, you do. Nah, you do. You have an idol. Nah, you know the majority.
Because if you're popular, you're going to get more male.
You know the majority.
You'll
You'll deep it when the people that even come up to you, see the age ages of these people that are coming up to
it's
you.
younger.
It's young kids.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're the ones that are touching.
But that's the
That's a majority. I'm not saying all of them. Like, there's obviously going to be olders that watch.
Me, if I see an influencer who is near to my age, I'm not gonna go up to her like, oh yeah, I love you. Like, little kids are gonna do that because
You wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't.
If I saw Jada Wade, I'd run into her.
Similar following. I'm not gonna go up to that.
That's because these kids actually they want to be like you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Every decision you make on socials, if you're an influencer, matters.
It matters, but then I feel like there shouldn't be that much pressure on them. But they're just humans at the end of the day. Like, but social media make it seem like when the influencer makes a mistake, like it's the end of the world.
That's true.
No, but you try so hard to cancel them, but at the end of the day,
Well,
they're just
think about the influencers' mental health as well.
Yeah,
because
literally.
their mental health as well.
They
are human beings. They should be able to post what they want without getting backlash, if you get what I mean. And they also have mental health. They go through things like the audience. So therefore, I feel like, you shouldn't be too harsh on the influencers.
Well, you see how you were saying we put too much pressure on influence, right? But this is the type of society we now live in. Like, the biggest audience right now is on social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram.
That doesn't mean that influencers shouldn't be allowed to make mistakes.
But that is okay, cool. But a lot of the attention is going to be focused on them. Like now, compared back then, a lot of things that we would watch or whatnot would be on TV, but now it's on social media. So of course, the attention is going to be always focused on them more time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we get that, but my point is.
Yeah, but the thing is, I get what
you've now decided not to make your life private.
I get what Chelsea.
You can't say because you're an influencer, your life isn't private.
No, but audience has made their life. Some, like for example, some YouTubers that actually decide to put their whole life out there.
That's what you think they're do. You think they're putting their whole life. You don't know nothing. They give you what they want. You don't know nothing. Like they just think it's an ad. YouTube, you know it's an ad. You don't know anything that's going on behind closed doors when it comes to
They're giving you what they want you to know. They're not going to put something that maybe I want to have this.
Okay, as you just said, they put stuff for us to see. So if we complain about something,
no, but
you put it out there. I feel like as an influencer, you should know what to use your platform for, especially if you know like a huge part of your audience are young teens. Like you need to know exactly what you're portraying out there, what you're showing to them. Like you need to actually use your platform for the right uses.
At the end of the day, they work for themselves, so they don't have to follow certain rules.
But it's no rules. But it's because of us. Because of us, through us, they make the money. If they didn't have
it's just like having the freedom of speech. At the end of the day,
I'm not saying that.
You should be allowed to say.
I'm not saying that.
They can't expect your audience.
Nah, but people are acting like these guys were just dropped as influencers. It's the life you guys chose. I'm telling you.
I don't think they chose it.
You choose it. You do choose it. The day you put content out, you're putting it out on the chance that you might blow.
Exactly. If you're
regardless.
No, not all the time though.
No, so
sometimes that's
if you're just putting in personal content that you just like
then you put your account on private.
You're growing.
You don't need to put your
if you're doing it personally,
because now if you see that you're growing, if you see that you're growing and more people are following you, you're now following that path because you're now putting out content that people that you want people to see.
You're choosing. You're choosing.
No one's struck.
I don't think anyone wakes up one day and says my dream goal is to be an influencer.
Mental health is important, but influencers, they don't work for anyone. So they should be allowed to do what they want to do with their platforms. And if you don't like it, they can just go follow someone else. Simple.
No, I'm not saying some people do.
A lot of teens right now want to be YouTubers, influencers, because of the side we live.
Yeah, that's right now. But the main influencers, as in the ones that started off, as in Jada Wade, I don't think she woke up one day and said she was
I'm sure she woke up one day and putting something out there, expecting people to see it.
Yeah,
she wanted something.
If I'm posting a picture just for my friends and it blows, how is that me saying that I put it out there for people to see?
I'll be so wrong. When I started social media, I didn't start social media because I
don't think you start social media.
No, but you put out something that you knew people would see.
With YouTube, Instagram,
followers up the next day, thousands. Like it just happens overnight, things like that.
But you know, you saw these followers.
When she posted her picture with 300 followers, I don't think she knew when she woke up the next day she was gonna have 10k followers.
But you know, if you know how Instagram works,
you should have that in the back of your head. Once you know you're an influencer or a big YouTuber, you need to be wary what you're posting. Because it can affect, especially.
So everybody with a public Instagram account.
I don't know what is
they have a chance to blow.
No,
they have a chance.
Everyone has to say that it affects young people. I think if it affects you so bad, I don't think you should be on social media. Social media is upside down. Because I think everybody takes everything on social media so sensitively. And if you're a sensitive person, don't be on social
But
media.
not everyone's a strong mind, you guys.
No, but if you're a sensitive person and you're not strong-minded, is that my problem?
No, I'm not saying that.
Is that my problem?
You have to understand different personalities.
You don't understand. That's actually you. Like you should just go cry.
But that's you being insensitive.
No, it's not.
It is because certain people are brought up certain ways. Certain people are brought up in a place where they're not used to. Like, seeing negativity. Some people are just
but how
brought up
can
on
it's not negativity, but you're crying because I have a nice
hold
body.
on. How do you tell someone to stay away from social media when social media at this current time is all that it is?
You can't get away from
I'm sorry, if you really don't want to be on social media, you don't have to. Don't act like it's forced.
And
You don't
it's
have to. It's not forced. I don't know that don't use it. I don't know that only use WhatsApp. If you don't want to use Instagram and Snapchat, you don't have to use Instagram.
What aunties or uncles use?
No, I'm not about people our age. I'm not people our age. So if you don't want to use Instagram and Snapchat, you don't have to. No one's forcing you. Guys act like
the thing is,
no one's
it's not
forcing
that
everybody wants to be part of it. Everybody wants to be part of the train. No one's
It's
forcing
everywhere. There's peer pressure. Like everyone's using it.
Madame Cecilia, stupid girl, damn me. How could you be so senseless, fam? Do you not have consideration in your heart? Like an influencer put stuff out there, yeah? Alright, cool. Yeah, you didn't sign up for the job. That's not their fault, you get it? But at the end of the day, you gotta still watch what you put out there. People are watching you. You don't know who's watching you. 30-year-old man could be watching you. 2-year-old kid could be watching you. You need to watch what you put out there. 100%, man.
So if you see your friend using it,
you guys are saying peer pressure for everything. Sorry, the one is not perfect. Like influencers can't come and die because you
and people aren't perfect.
I'm
Not
sorry.
everyone has
Influencers can't come and die. Like they can't.
Not everyone has the strong. Not everyone has the strong mind to see it like that.
No, because I'm not even an influencer, but because of all of these little things that we're doing, like, everybody wants to shoot me. Sorry, I said what I said. I'm not a perfect person. Like, do you know what I mean? As an influencer, we're growing. You're still growing. Like humans grow every day. You learn every day. So just because I said something, you want to.
You know what you just said? I'd rate that more if influencers said that online instead of
exactly.
Act like they're perfect.
But they don't act perfect online. You guys will see Jada the way that she has the body, she has the money, and you'll think that she's perfect. Literally, you know, behind closed doors, she probably has 10 times more problems than we do. Just because they put out that, this is that, you don't know what's going on. No one's perfect. I don't think influencers act like they're perfect.
And if they put out the imperfections, the comment section will be mad.
Do you know what I mean? So what you want from them is actually both sides.
You want so easily influenced. Like, for example, Nicki Minaj, before she wore Crocs, who was wearing Crocs like that?
First of all,
let's Wait. So, for example, if Nicki Minaj was to promote something, all her bars will now go do that. All her bars will go now do that. So you can't just be saying, they have to be careful what they do. Regardless, people are still going to follow.
But the thing is, you know what? As an influencer,
that is their role model.
As an influencer, you need to understand.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you get easily influenced.
You need to understand it. As an influencer, you know like the repercussion of what you're posting. If you're gonna post something mad or do something mad or something partially controversial, cool, do your thing, but be prepared for the backlash. No one should complain that my mental health. If you know you're an influencer and you have followers and then you post something mad and people get onto you,
no, that's not even posting something mad.
You should be ready for the backlash anyway. That's the life you chose. That's the life you chose.
A good example is Patricia Bright this week or whenever. Okay. Patricia Bright must have posted a video of her like laughing at herself. She was laughing at herself about a situation that happened with a homeless person. The comment section, why are you laughing at homeless people? Everybody grabs something.
That's the point. You should be ready for that.
No, it's not fair.
You chose that life. Like, get ready for the backlash. Just get ready for it. It's coming to you.
It's a harsh reality.
Therefore, the little kids who are getting mental health issues, harsh reality. Go on social media.
No, but one thing I would say about social
media. If social media is affecting your mental health so badly, come off of it.
Therefore, influencers is affecting you.
Yeah, but it's not easy.
You also need to Nicki Minaj's reach is completely different.
Influencers and celebrities work. Like including everyone who influences you at the end of the day.
Her reach is different. She has to be very different compared to
exactly. So she can be very careful. Why can't people be very careful? Even if you have like 10k, at the end of the day, still have in the back of your mind to be careful what you're portraying out there. What's so hard about that?
No, do you know what it is? I feel like sometimes you won't even know that what you're doing as well until you get the backlash. Because I must have posted a TikTok. I made a TikTok here and I said I love my chinky eyes, and then Ish called me and was like, delete this because you're gonna get backlash. And before I had even deleted it, people were coming for me, but I didn't know that there was a problem with saying I had chinky eyes until someone told me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think you put out bad things saying, I'm putting out bad things, I want people to follow. I just think you say things and then it's when people are telling you that it's bad, you're like, oh shit, what I said was bad.
You just need to
my
word. That's why like be educated on it, because if you're gonna be in that profession like job type, not job title, but if you're gonna be an influencer, you need to be careful. You need to be educated on.
That's the thing. I don't think as an influencer you need to be that careful.
Well, what is it?
There's not social media. That's why they're better because I think that's why they're better because they're not trying to go commercial. They're not trying to go into office.
Who are known for just being reckless. So I don't feel that you need to be.
Okay, but what I will say is, if you know that you do have at least a good portion of young people like teens watching you or whatnot, at the back of your mind, still be careful what you're saying or putting out there, because it can always affect their mental health. You never know who's out there actually watching you. So you still need to be wary. That's what I'm going to say. Yes, you may not know sometimes what you're going to put out may affect other people, but still, think about it. Think twice before you post. If you know you're, baby.
You need to be careful.
No, but why should they think twice?
I think in life you always have to think twice. Even if it's not about what you post, what you do, you just have to think twice.
Something you might not find offensive to someone else, like the chinky eyes thing. That's innocent. But a lot of people would get proper mad at that.
Exactly.
Even if you post something good, you still get hate.
As an influencer, there's a thin line between what you put out there on a personal level and what you put out there that's going to receive backlash. Do you get? Like, you can't, there is no possible way of being perfect. Do you get? But you have to know within yourself certain things you put out there are going to get certain reactions.
And hate is standard.
Hate is just, you can get hate for anything.
Everyday messages, people just be messing you rubbish, man.
No, but I feel like people are just so sensitive.
People are sensitive
because you can get dragged for literally the smallest
but
things.
I feel like UK is worse.
The Americans can post anything.
Talking about that, for example, right, smash or pass, and I want to talk about
oh my god.
Why was it when we was doing it over pictures, no one had a problem, but as soon as we want to go in person and do it, we're seeking validation. I'm going to see if
one American
do or not.
Yeah,
and it's not a problem. It's actually perfectly fine.
And the people that were hating, was always the girls. I just feel like your girls are always trying to bring down other girls, but
Too negative.
Total, the UK is bad vibes, man.
And the Americans can say anything they want and still not get dragged. Did you see the one where he was dragged in that dark for, she's too dark? He didn't even get dragged for that. So,
and I said that skin person was not my type and no one wanted to kill me. Sorry. If someone's not my type, you're not my type. I can't come and die because you're not my type. Sorry.
Can't lie, but there are certain things. Even though he didn't get dragged for that, he should have.
You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have known what it's
not. Because
wait.
If a guy goes and says, I don't like this black girl, he's gonna get dragged.
In the UK. No, but that's different. I said that light skin's not my type.
Yeah, if someone says I don't like dark skins, a dark
skin guy. Dark skin is not my type. No, I don't like dark skin.
Okay.
Dark skin's not my type.
Even if a guy said dark skins are not my type, he's gonna get dragged.
Yeah, but that's just true.
It's just down to perspective.
All I'm gonna say is that at the end of the day, an influence, your influencer. We all say the influencers. You have made them your influencer. Like Jada Wader, I wouldn't say that she influences me. Do you know what I mean? There's influencers who, like Nella Rose, I love her. She's my influencer. I've chosen her to influence me. I've chosen to watch her. Do you know what I mean? So if you don't like the influencer that you have chosen, click off their page, block, remove.
Sometimes you don't choose though.
It's thrown in your face.
You can stop watching them.
No. I just see her everywhere. I don't follow her.
I'm on the block side. Nicki Minaj in it, but I see it everywhere.
Okay, but block us.
You don't think it's bigger than blocking it? You don't forget that social media has algorithms, fam. Like people are being pushed. Even if you don't follow them.
No, not really though, because the algorithm is to target things that you like.
Yeah.
So if you don't like a certain thing, then you just remove it.
What if you like something and that the person that you like would have reposted something else? Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, on someone that you can repost stuff, someone else's post. I just don't think that makes sense.
Not every time it's stuff you like.
But so you just tap through in it.
I think influencers, they need to be like wary.
Yeah.
For example, like that, what's his name, Jake Paul or Logan Paul, when he posted the suicide.
That was just.
I think influencers, they need to be wary but you don't need to like
be
too on it, like be wary. But I feel like I'm not gonna see my person be like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Oh,
no, but you're
not post.
The thing is, it's 50% watch what you post, and the other 50% belongs to whoever's watching you.
Yeah.
So I do give you a point of like if you are having mental health issues, stop watching me. Like when I was on Instagram, and I promise you, I unfollowed every single blog page.
You know what it is, yeah? If you post something like proper good, it won't bang views. But if you post something like really, really bad, it will bang views, and you'll get bare money. That's what I'm trying to say.
You can't really blame that person if it influences young people.
No, you can, because
why? No, because you see Nas and Megan Thee Stallion, they posted all that devil stuff. As soon as they posted that, I unfollowed them and I haven't seen them since. Like, if I don't like something, I'm going to unfollow them.
Some people start following them. Some people like.
Yeah, but if you like it, cool. But I'm saying for me personally, I unfollowed them because I didn't like it. So you can't really say your mental health, because if it was really affecting me, you would do what I did.
If Nicki Minaj now started posting with demon horns, what will you do? I know you're a diehard Nicki Minaj fan.
Yeah, I am a diehard Nicki Minaj, but I'll unfollow her.
Same
I don't mess with demonic stuff on my mum's side. If she's moving demonic, I will unfollow her. I don't like demonic stuff, and that's point blank.
If you unfollow someone, it don't necessarily mean that you're not going to see them again.
You've tried your best, you know, like you've actually done it for yourself.
Not everyone has this kind of mind, right? Not everyone has
I don't listen to Nas. I don't like demonic stuff. So once you're demonic, or I'll listen to her music that's not with the demonic stuff. If she made a song about devil, I promise you that's not in my ears.
Sometimes let's listen. Right. At the end of the day, for example, me, when I'm feeling like depressed or I'm feeling down and like I don't want to be on socials or socials is affecting me, I will delete the apps. That's what I do. I will delete the apps. Yeah, and when I'm back and when I'm ready, I'll download them again. So why can't you?
What's the problem with that?
It makes sense.
The whole point about the whole mental health debate is that everyone's mind works differently. That's logical to you, but to someone else, they need social media. They feel like they depend.
But if it's hurting you so bad, you can't.
No, but it's like a drug to someone.
No, it's like a drug.
I feel like people need to be more like respectful to how other people.
Just be considerate. Just think of it.
The conclusion is they're saying that people should come and die for everybody. That's what
what they're actually saying is, if you're an influencer or a celebrity, you need to know your audience. At least understand that some people, you need to be wary of what you're going to pay.
Be careful and be ready.
I hear that. That's it.